Hello, everyone. We have a very special guest here today, Lindsey Graham. Yes, Lindsey Graham, who's been in there, I think, since George Washington. Too long, too long, too long. Yet he still gets elected year after year or whatever. And you can see at the bottom, Lockheed pays him just like they pay Democrats and Republicans in all 50 states, called disbursements. So let's go to town with that, okay? And here we go. Actually, political contributions. It's easy to grease a hand for $6,000 to sign another appropriation off. Isn't that true, Lindsey? Come over. Isn't he cute? Take a look. Let me touch his nose. Oh, fuck that. Anyway. And I'm going to say this. You hear me say the word fuck. Well, back when in Trump's first administration, Mr. Patrick Shanahan, who's now the CEO of Spirit Aerospace Systems, said that when he was asked, he was Deputy Secretary of Defense under Donald Trump, the first time around for President Trump. And what he said when they asked him about the F-35 program, he said, the program is fucked up. So he gave a legal word, that's a word now. It's part of our English language. It's a part of our political framework now. And let's go to town. Just listen to this mess. QA expert, American patriot and truth sayer, DARYL GUBERMAN to Lindsey Graham. Step the fuck down. Your allegiance is to special interests, not the American people. Lindsey Graham, step the F down. I say this with no hesitation because the facts, the data, and the reality speak for themselves. You have long forgotten who you serve, and it sure as hell isn't the American people. After you had the audacity to chastise the President Trump, it became painfully clear that your allegiance lies not with your constituents, not with your American worker, but with the corporations, lobbyists, and political donors who grease your palms year after year after year. I don't even live in South Carolina, but I can only imagine how your residents feel being represented by a man who does nothing, says nothing of substance, and bends over, way over, wherever the political wind blows. You, sir, are the very definition of a do-nothing, say-nothing politician who hides behind fake patriotism while selling out the country piece by piece. In 2017, I personally sent you and every member of the Antitrust Committee a detailed letter exposing Lockheed Martin's blatant violations of the Sherman and Clayton Acts. Antitrust violations so obvious that practically slapped you across the face. What did you do? Nothing. You, Lindsey, along with your Democrat and Republican colleagues, sat on your hands and let it happen and let it still happen because you were all too busy collecting campaign disbursements from Lockheed Martin, just like most politicians on both sides of the aisle. Check the records. Every year, Lockheed Martin flows money into all 50 states, into the pockets of both Democrats and Republicans alike. You don't work for the people. You work for them. We, the people, have zero control over you and many others, because you've sold your soul to the corporate interests. And now the President Trump and his team unmasking the frauds and real frauds in Washington, your name is right there at the top of the list. Look no further than Connecticut, where Senator Murphy, Senator Rosa DeLauro, and Richard Blumenthal stood proudly in 2015 praising Lockheed Martin for working with Communist China to close the purchase of Sikorsky aircraft. Let me educate everyone who's listening to this, even Lindsey Graham. He's just filling his pockets. He doesn't pay attention. He goes like this and signs it, like most of the politicians. It's like what Nancy Pelosi said when she was given the budget for whatever year it was, and the news asked her, did you read that? And she had signed off of it. No, I didn't. And she signed off on it anyway? That's what you call schmuck. So anyway, let me educate you on the timeline, and you and your colleagues ignored it. In 2009, Lockheed Martin F-35 technology was stolen by China. In 2012, a division of United Technologies Sikorsky aircraft, their data too, was stolen by China. In 2015, Lockheed Martin needed China's permission to buy Sikorsky aircraft, and they got it. And you had those three people, Rosa DeLauro, Chris Murphy, and Richard Blumenthal, all praised Lockheed for working with Communist China. What did you do, Lindsey? Nothing. Not a word, not a peep. Just like you and your fellow Antitrust Committee members do every time the interests of American people clash with the corporate elite. You are complicit. You are useless, and, sir, need to step the fuck down, honestly. And that is not a brutal, that is not harassing, that is not threatening. That is a verbiage that was used by Patrick Shanahan to describe the F-35 program. I'm doing that to describe Lindsey Graham's program. All I hear when you speak is blah, blah, blah. Empty words from an empty suit who's been taking money and failing America far too long. It's over. The people see through it now. Because of Donald Trump, we always knew that you politicians were on the take. But now, because of Elon Musk, it's getting even worse. We, the people in the states, should take our own politicians and look at their background, their seedy alliances, like with Concept, which I mentioned. Okay, here's Christopher Murphy. I wonder how much they donate. If they're not for profit, I wonder how much Concept and all the other NIST MEPs donate to these elections. So let me read this to you again. All I hear when you speak is blah, 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 empty words from an empty suit who's been taking money and failing America far too long. It's over. The people see through it. And by the way, don't get squeamish over my language. Your own Pentagon, here it is, your own Pentagon officials have already set the president in Donald Trump's first administration. Then the Deputy Secretary of Defense, Patrick Shanahan, was asked about the F-35 program. His response, it's fucked up. His words, not mine. So consider that my green light to use it in the most loving, caring, and empathetic way possible, because nothing describes you and your colleagues better than that. This is a wake-up call to every citizen in every state, from DARYL GUBERMAN, the truth sayer, the QA expert, and also the Patriot, the American Patriot. Look at how many people your so-called representatives are responsible for, and then ask yourself, if you wrote them a letter, do you honestly think it would make it into their hands? Would anyone of substance read it, act on it, fight for you? More than likely, no. And when you get that form letter back, you already know it has absolutely nothing to do with what you wrote. Lindsey Graham, you are a fraud. We have the data to back it up. Step the fuck down, because the American people deserve better than a corporate puppet wrapped in the American flag. DARYL GUBERMAN, truth sayer. Yes, 3.6 million people in Connecticut, divided into 7 representatives of 500,000 people, each one having to handle their constituents, 500,000. If 10 people, I think, would be 50,000 people they would have to answer letters from. They're ineffective, inefficient, and we're talking about efficiency. We need new blood in those offices. Blood that cares, blood that savors, blood that will fight for the American people, people in Connecticut and throughout the country. We don't need these people, okay? These people need to step down, because you keep on pulling the lever, and I think the election's fixed anyway. These Democrats get in the office all the time in Connecticut. What are you, a schmuck? How about the Sikorsky workers? Are you going to vote for these people? They give you a line of bullshit. Rosa DeLauro, Jim Himes, Chris Murphy, and all of them. They're giving you bullshit. And look, at that time, because you didn't get the V-280 Valor for Sikorsky, there was issues where they were planning on laying off 800 people or more. Who knows? Anyway, Lindsey Graham, you are a fraud, and we have the data to back it up. Step down. Step down now. That's what you have to do. You are a waste, just like so many others are. My name is DARYL GUBERMAN. I love the man who can smile in trouble, who can gather strength from distress and grow brave by reflection. 'Tis the business of little minds to shrink, and he whose heart is firm and conscience approves his conduct shall pursue his principles unto death. That was Thomas Paine, Common Sense. And remember this, Lindsey Graham, the truth will set you free, but not until DARYL GUBERMAN is done with you. From David Foster Wallace, he actually said, the truth will set you free, but not until it is finished with you. 203-556-1493. And I thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.